What is up guys, Taiki here, and in this video I'll be discussing a potential rotation to the Luna and Avalanche ecosystem, as well as addressing some FUD in the Harmony ecosystem. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Now this is financial advice. Okay, so let's get started. So obviously everyone is subscribed to me to watch me draw red boxes on charts. Well, here you go, right? And obviously this is bullish, and I'm quite surprised that it took this long for Avalanche, I guess the ecosystem to catch a bit. I mean, the fundamentals of the ecosystem has been, it's been improving like every single day, but the price of like tokens such as Avalanche, Joe hasn't done that well, and I do think that this is the move, right? I do think this will stick, and I do think that it's gonna make its way to $100. As long as Bitcoin and Ether behave, right? Because if Bitcoin volatility spikes up to the upside or downside, sure, like the bid might, go back to Bitcoin. But in this type of environment where Bitcoin is bullish, consolidating, ETH hitting all-time highs, and then it's calming down a bit. This is a time where other L1s such as Avalanche, Luna, Solana, and Harmony, they do catch a bit. So let's kind of discuss. So I have a working thesis on why the Avalanche ecosystem has lagged in the past month or so, right? Because if you take out the price movement today, the Avalanche token hasn't done much, right, since October. Even though I still love the ecosystem. So I have a working thesis on this, on like why I think this has happened and why Avalanche has lagged the ecosystem such as Phantom, right? So let's kind of go over my working thesis. My conviction level on this is low, so we'll see like how this plays out, and maybe over time we can revise this thesis. But essentially, I've often mentioned that like Avalanche, I'm bullish Avalanche, and it's a great ecosystem, right? And the reason I rotated away from Avalanche to Phantom was because I'm a profit maxi, right? I'm a yield maxi. I go where the yields are. I go where I can make the most money. And in the month of October, I thought I can make more money on Phantom than Avalanche, so I rotated. If the narrative changes, if the thesis changes, I'll go back to Avalanche, right? I'm a yield maxi, right? I go where where I think I can make the most money. And Phantom in October went up more than 2x, right? So that was a good rotation, and I think the Phantom move, the meat of the move has played out. I'm still bullish Phantom, right? I'm still like the majority of my funds are parked on Phantom, right? Farming. However, Avalanche is looking more attractive, right? As well as Luna. So one of the reasons I think the Avalanche ecosystem has kind of lagged and was like, I guess, less hyped up. Well, sure, like the Avalanche rush was like delayed for a month, so like that kind of killed the hype. But I guess the phase one of Avalanche and its ecosystem, right, being built out through Avalanche Rush and whatever, relied on ETH-based projects bridging over, right, such as Aave, Curve, Kyber, etc., right? But these projects, their tokens are already diluted, right? They're considered safe, right? They're like the blue chips in DeFi, but they can't really offer high inflationary rewards compared to new ecosystem projects, which deters farmers to stay on Avalanche. So to further expand on this point, an example is Geist, right? The reason I rotated to Phantom away from Avalanche was because Geist launched with like 1,000% APYs, and it was backed by the Phantom team, and everyone felt comfortable aping in, and billions flocked to the Phantom ecosystem, which led to the Phantom price double, going up more than 2x in the span of like a couple of weeks. So what Geist was is it's a fork of Aave, right? And because it's a new project, they can introduce a new token. And with a new token, they can just jack up the inflationary rewards and give the farmers, right, like myself, just super high APYs, right? And as yield maxis, I have to go here, right? Like, how can I not go here, right? Because should I stay on Aave and just capture like 2% APY, or should I bridge to Phantom and earn like 1,000% APY? And I guess more importantly, they built confidence in the protocol safety by having a Phantom co-founder back it, right? So they launched it it was like a pseudo stealth launch. They backed it with one of the Phantom co-founders backed it with his own money and his own name, and they're like, here, like, bridge over, yada yada yada. And profit-driven farmers, will bridge to Phantom for the gains, right? It's a rational thing to do, right? We're all rational actors here. So the question is, after you bridge to Phantom, right, through Geist, and you have your funds parked there, is it worth bridging back to Avalanche? In the short term, right, in October, the answer was no. The spell farm on Abracadabra on Phantom was super high EV, and I thought it was higher EV, right, expected value, than any stable farm on Avalanche, so I stayed, right? I'm a yield maxi. I'm not loyal to any chain. I just go where the yields are. Right, this is like, this is an outdated photo, but like you can earn roughly 25-30% on spell on stable coins. So what I've been doing for a long time is Bitcoin ETH Phantom on collateral, as collateral, borrow stablecoins against it, and put it here and earn yield on my Bitcoin, ETH, and Phantom indirectly. Obviously, my position has changed and whatever in the past couple of weeks, but that's kind of how I saw it, right? Yield maxi, right? Just don't be too loyal to any chain. The best yield farmers are not loyal to any chain, and they're yield maxis, right? Because I guess when it comes to like market psychology, like once you buy something, it gets easy to like hold on to like your bags, right? I've definitely like fallen victim to that mindset before, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to opportunity cost, right? I didn't leave Avalanche because I was bearish Avalanche. I left Avalanche because I could make more I could make more money on Phantom, and if I think I can make more money on Avalanche, I'll bridge back, right? I'm a simple guy, right? I just like want to make money. So this is part of the liquidity wars amongst L1s, where they have to offer you, right, the humble farmer army, the best yield, right? Because the humble farmer army, we bridge, right? We go everywhere where the best yields are. So that's kind of how I thought about it. And in the past couple of weeks, I think it's time to change the thesis, right? Congrats, Kevin. Your memes are pretty good. And when I saw this, I was like, damn, like is Kevin targeting me with this meme? Like, so. Definitely adjusting the thesis. So let's talk about some hopium for the Avalanche holders, because right now it's up almost 10%, and hopefully this move sticks. So one of the reasons, like I mentioned before, it's like the I guess old Ethereum projects, like for example Aave, Kyber, like they can't give you like over 100% APY, right? Because their tokens are already diluted, their market cap's already too big. So it's safe, but the yields are less exciting than like some safe fork on Phantom. But maybe there's a bigger plan. And we should be aware of it. So this is a crypto fish. He's the co-founder of Trader Joe, right? And let's go back here. So phase 1 was all about attracting big projects to come over without overspending. Task completed, right? So they allocated some funds from Avalanche Rush, and they're like, hey, Aave, come over, Curve, come over, Kyber, come over, Parasol, come over, yada, 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 like, right? Build like the, I guess the foundation of the Avalanche ecosystem. And one of the reasons like Trader Joe was did so well is because they have their own token, right? Like SushiSwap will never overcome Trader Joe because Trader Joe can always offer better yields. The announcement of Avalanche incentives back in mid-August enticed many builders to build on Avalanche. And like I mentioned in the previous tweet, you typically need 3 months to build and deploy an object. And Avalanche Rush was announced in roughly mid-August, right? So 3 months is mid-November. Interesting. So guess what? They're all launching soon. I know because I'm constantly getting pulled into Telegram groups with new projects launching soon every single day. So, this is I mean, I guess this is like hopium, right? I mean, like Phantom projects are more exciting because they're new and their APYs are pretty high. But if Avalanche native projects can launch, right, that is backed by, I guess, the Avalanche team, or or just like if the teams can ensure safety of the project and they can offer good APYs and they have good products, maybe it's worth bridging back, right? Because right now I feel like the most enticing project on Avalanche is Wonderland and Trader Joe, but that's been that way since like August, right? So there hasn't been really new exciting things come on. Sure, you can show me your random Ponzi, like for example like Smartcoin, right? Like what the hell, like that obviously is a thing, but generally, right, for the long-term sustainability of these ecosystems, you need quality projects that's going to stand the test of time. And if you look at the bridging data, I mean today I don't know why it's so red, but generally in the last 30 days it's been pretty positive, right? And you can assume that if more money is coming in than going out, generally you should expect the price of Avalanche to go up, right? Because I mean, more people coming in, more people need gas, and you can kind of look at the active users and whatnot. Now, like anyone can like create multiple wallets and kind of like make this data like unreliable. But I don't think that I don't think they're faking it anyway whatsoever. And in terms of TVL, we see Avalanche in the top 5. They're actually number 4, I believe, just because, yes, Terra is at 10.57 billion, but if you click 3 billion is like Lido, and Lido is not a Terra project, right? Terra has a connection with Lido, but it's not actually, a Terra project. So in actuality, I think Avalanche is a top 4 ecosystem in terms of TVL, and maybe they do flip Solana, right? Because, I don't want to bet against Sam, but the farms on Terra, the farms on Avalanche, the farms on Phantom are much better than the farms on Solana, in my opinion, right? That might change, the facts might change, but in the meantime, I really don't see a reason to bridge to Solana just because the yields are not as high as the other ecosystems. So we'll see if that happens. And we also saw that Avalanche Foundation launched a $200 million fund dedicated supporting ecosystem development and innovation. Maybe they took a page out of the Phantom ecosystem's notebook, where the Phantom ecosystem, their $1 billion incentive program, is essentially like paying the developers, right? So maybe if the Federal Reserve has taught us anything, if you see a problem, just throw more money at it, right? It generally works. So Avalanche throwing more money at it, backing it with 3 Arrows Capital, Polychain, etc. Right? Very, very reputable VCs. I think this is going to be bullish for. I think this is going to actually be bullish for like Wonderland, just because Wonderland hasn't really received Avalanche incentives, but they're one of the. If you want to I guess help fund developers, I feel like you have to help develop like Danny, right? Danny's like the Occupy DeFi. He's like the benevolent dictator in the Frog Nation. He did a show on Frog Radio. I recommend everyone watch this. Right, it was a good one. I was in this, right? I took a bunch of notes. So if you want to know like what he's building out with Wonderland, Popsicle, Abracadabra, I'm super bullish on all of them. Check it out, right? So I think this could be indirectly a bullish catalyst for Wonderland. All right, so and also the Joe token has done well. So look out for that too. Okay, that being said, let's go back to the slide deck and go over the Terra ecosystem, because I've often I've been super vocal about being super bullish Terra, but like not gonna lie, like my bags have been pretty light, right? So I've been trying to change that in the past couple of weeks. In the past week or so, like I bought some Luna because there are key catalysts coming up. I own more Luna than I do Avalanche, just because with Luna, like there's actually like dates on rough dates on like when things are happening, whereas Avalanche, like maybe new apps come in like mid-November, but like nothing is that clear yet, right? So Luna, there are 2 protocols that I'm super bullish on, is Mars and Astroport. So Mars is going to be like a money market on steroids. I've heard rumblings about like when they're going to launch. Hopefully in Q4, right? Apparently the auditing firms have been backlogged, and like that's been a bottleneck. So worst case scenario, they launch in Q1. So just temper your expectations. But when this does launch, I think it's going to be an insanely bullish catalyst for the Terra ecosystem. Also Astroport. So I've discussed Astroport on my channel a few times, but I also believe that Astroport is going to be a pretty big catalyst, just because like ecosystems need a really good AMM, right? Really good DEX. And they're going to be airdropping tokens retroactively to past Terra users. You can't receive it anymore, right? So hopefully this airdrop is going to be worth a lot. And one of the reasons I believe that Astroport airdrop is going to be worth at least 4 figures is because Nexus protocol, right? I staked $500 with the Anchor in September in order to get this airdrop, and I got like over $800 of airdrops, right? This is a pretty insane airdrop. I'll talk about this later too, but I do think that one way to create excitement in the community is just making your making your community more money, right? So I think the Astro airdrop is going to be a big one. I suspect it's going to be at least worth 4 figures, best case scenario 5 figures. But that's like full hopium. But we could see fireworks, right? We could see fireworks. So let's kind of go over like why Astroport is super important, because right now there's TerraSwap, which is the incumbent DEX, but they were never intended to be the winner, right? TerraSwap was built out of necessity, and it's not really like that exciting of a decentralized exchange. So this is Jose Maria Macedo. He's at Delphi Digital. I think Delphi Digital, they're one of like the giga brains in the space. They're like a consulting firm, and they're working behind the scenes to help Astroport and Mars launch, right? So just let that digest a little bit. So he said that it's gonna be launching in mid-November, right? Fairly certain it's gonna happen. And they're going to have a bunch of cool products. So first of all, they're going to have the standard X times Y equals K pool, right? So this is like essentially all decentralized exchanges use this particular pool, but also it's going to allow for stable swaps, such as like swapping between B Luna to Luna, like UST to another stable coin, etc. And think of this as like a curve, right? So Astroport is going to be a standard DEX with additional, curve models, such as like a stable swap model, like similar to Curve. They're also going to have liquidity bootstrapping pool, the way Balancer does. So any project that wants to launch on on Terra can use Balancer's way to I guess avoid whales like taking up all the coins and whatnot. And the stable swap part is really interesting because it allows for projects like Orion protocol, right? So if you don't know what Orion is a way for people on Ethereum and other chains to gain access to the 20% yield on Anchor. So what you can do is on the Ethereum mainnet, you can just deposit like stable coins on Orion, and then Orion will in the back end take that, turn it into USD and put it into Anchor, and then pay you back like 20%, right? It's going to be lower because like there's going to be slippage, there's going to be fees and whatnot, but that's kind of the point. So if on the back end, Astroport can facilitate a more capital efficient way to transfer, I guess swap between USDC and USD, for example, it's going to create more demand for USD. It's going to create more demand for, I guess, Anchor yields and whatnot, which is pretty impressive. And obviously the airdrop is going to be, so this is a little confusing. So I'm going to try to have Danku on the channel sometime to like kind of explain it because he's kind of an expert, but phase 0, which I believe is going to be mid-November, is going to be Astrodrop to retroactively airdrop to historical participants in major DeFi protocols. So if you've been using Luna ecosystem for like a couple months, I'm sure you'll get this, and I'm really excited for it. And Mars hopefully comes soon. Okay, what else am I going to go over? So let's go over the Harmony ecosystem, just because I know there's a bunch of people that's like new to crypto, right? New to farming, new to DeFi, and I guess when you're a new farmer, it's hard to get your like mentality right? It's like the farmer mentality and the trader mentality is completely different, right? We're more focused on yield, and it's great if we're farming something that goes up. But if we're earning super high rates on a particular asset, like we don't care if that, like if you're earning like let's say 1,000% APY, right? Like you're going to be euphoric if the price is going sideways, right? Because you're just earning more of a token. If you're like even if the token goes down a little bit, you're still going to be euphoric because you're earning a bunch of tokens. So when it comes to Harmony, yes, I do think it's a good ecosystem. I do think it's an immature ecosystem, right? I mean, they don't even have Chainlink. Like they barely have any protocols, right? Like if you remove DeFi kingdoms from Harmony, like that ecosystem is like really not worth bridging over to, right? So it just takes time, right? I'm sure it's going to be a thriving ecosystem at some point. And I've often like thought that, this is going to be a Q4 to Q1 rotation, right? I mean, I said the same for Phantom, right? Phantom's just like happened way too fast. So that rotation already happened. But, Harmony, I think it's going to play out in Q4 and Q1, right? It just takes time. So, and, when I guess like when the price of Jewel went from $5.50 to like $3.50, people were like scared everywhere, right? Like I just got a bunch of DMs saying like, hey Taiki, like, are you going to sell your Jewel? Like no, like look at this chart. Like this is not bearish. This is not bearish, right? And I just want to kind of go over this is pep talk, right? This is farmer pep talk. You got to get your head on straight, right? I even get a haircut for this moment, right? So, price dumps 30% on Jewel. People panic. Why? Like, what was your plan to begin with, right? Are you serious? Are you really scared of 350 Jewel, right? This thing was like $1, like a month ago. Like come on. So this is a farmer mentality. This is the farmer's mentality, right? And it kind of speaks to, positioning, right? Positioning your portfolio, positioning yourself, and mentally preparing yourself for what's about to happen. Harmony might be ready in Q1, right? Chainlink keeps getting delayed, so maybe it ends up becoming a Q1 rotation. If Harmony is going to be a thriving ecosystem in Q1, who cares what happens to the price of Jewel right now, right? If you think Harmony is going to be $1 or $1 to $1, right? Think of that. If you think that meme is going to happen in Q1, who cares what's happening to the price of the price of Jewel right now? Your goal should be to farm, preparing for that rotation, right? Like right now, I don't have that many funds deployed to Harmony just because. I mean, I have DeFi Kingdoms, but I feel like there's like better short-term opportunities in Luna and Avalanche, for example, right? So, but at some point, it's going to make sense to bridge over to Harmony, right? Because, a bunch of projects are being built out, and at some point it's going to be worth it. So there's that, right? If Harmony works, my Jewel farm prints, right? I mean, that you can say the same for like anything, any farm that you're in that isn't a total scam, right? If Harmony sucks, Jewel might expand to other ecosystems, right? So I guess like the hedge, if Harmony like does like keep delaying it, it's like kind of dies, then like Jewel, they have the ability to expand to other ecosystems, right? I mean, I know like Phantom, they were looking at Phantom. I know the Avalanche guys were like really like, hey, come over DeFi Kingdoms, like we'll really want to have you here. The point is, have a plan. Why are you in DeFi Kingdoms, right? For example, right? And other farms or whatever. For me, this is my pseudo gaming and Harmony play, right? And I have a relatively longer term time horizon when it comes to Harmony. I think it's going to be ready in Q1, right? Ready meaning that, like the ecosystem isn't just like kind of dead, right? more legitimate protocols coming, Aave coming, more Ethereum-based projects coming, etc. So if I'm positioning for that, then I don't really care what happens to the price of Jewel. Because in my mind, if Harmony works, then think about, so let's imagine a scenario where like Harmony is trading at $1, right? Right? Maybe we live in that scenario, maybe we don't, right? But if that happens, like think about how much TVL is going to be in the Harmony ecosystem. And if you think about how much TVL is going to be in the Harmony ecosystem, think about how much of that TVL is going to be in DeFi Kingdoms. And then with that mindset, think about what would the price of Jewel be at in that scenario in Q1? Probably going to be fine, right? Probably going to be fine. Maybe it's trading at $3, right? Maybe the price just goes flat for 3 months. But that's still euphoric, right? You should still be euphoric because you can farm it with like 4-digit APRs. Or maybe it's like 3-digit now, but like, the APRs are pretty insane. Also, like, what is the role of DeFi Kingdoms in your portfolio? For me, this is a way to gain exposure to the Harmony ecosystem without really, thinking about it, right? I just turn my brain off. I'm like, I'll check this position in January, February, or whatever. I'm gonna have a huge bag of Jewel, and maybe hopefully it's still worth something, right? But I didn't position my like DeFi Kingdoms position like as like a huge part of my portfolio for like if Jewel dumps 50%. Yeah, I'm sad, but at least I had a thesis. At least I had a plan, right? Because if you don't have a plan in crypto, then you're gonna sell your bags too early. You're gonna panic sell the dump. I mean, like all the memes, right? This is my highest conviction farm. I did not lie when I said that. Like I don't lie, right? I'm generally like transparent, like when it comes to like my thesis and whatnot. And if your entire net worth is in a Harmony ecosystem, then you should understand that the ecosystem is not ready, right? It's very, very immature. Maybe you're going to be euphoric in 3 months from now, but just temper your expectations. So that's the end of the presentation. So discussed the Luna, Avalanche, and Harmony. Let's see how it's doing. All right, Luna doing well. If you want to see more red boxes, here you go. Right, bam, boom, bullish. Harmony. Yeah, I mean this isn't even bearish. Like why are people scared? So also I think Solana is a good one too. I'm bullish Solana. It's just that as a farmer, the yields on Solana aren't that great. So I don't really see a point in bridging to Solana. If you want to buy the Solana token, right? And like stake it on Marinade, earn 7% or whatever. Sure, that could be a good strategy. And you don't really want to fade Sam. And if you think about like where all the money is coming from, a bunch of institutional flow is going into Solana, right? So, I'm not gonna fight the big wall of money. But in crypto, you can't own everything you want to own. Like if I had more money, I would just like buy more things, right? But my capital is limited, my headspace is limited, and I don't own like 10 different bags, right? I just own like a few core positions that I can manage, and that I have conviction on, because I would rather have a bunch of funds concentrated on like 3 coins than like a bunch of money scattered across 20 coins, because like how are you gonna manage that, right? So there's always opportunity cost. There's always like no cause of opportunity overload. But that's kind of how I think about it. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you want to know how I'm navigating the markets, please check out the private Discord. The link will be in the description below. Thank you for watching and have fun farming out there.